Number one, hello to everyone here. For obvious reasons, we're all here. I'm going to address those, give my thoughts, give my sentiments, and then I'll take questions. There's a reason I didn't do this I know everyone was expecting me to go speak on my podcast. And quite frankly, I don't hide from anything. I own my mistakes. And to go sit on my podcast would be not taking questions and hiding from the issue at hand. And so I wanted to acknowledge that. And, for those out there that thought that, those were just your thoughts, but I wanted to do this first before I just went and sat in front of a computer screen and said whatever it was that I wanted to say. So number one, I was wrong for my actions that took place on Wednesday. What's today? Wednesday. I was wrong for my actions that took place on Wednesday, and for that, I have apologized to my team. I have apologized to Jordan, and I wanted to take that a step further. With the event yesterday, with the video leaking, there is a huge embarrassment that comes with that. Not only for myself as I was the one that committed the action, the embarrassment that comes for me is what it is, and that's something that I have to deal with. But the embarrassment that Jordan has to deal with, and that this team has to deal with, that this organization has to deal with, but also Jordan's family. His family saw that video. His mother, his father saw that video. And quite frankly, if my mother saw that video, I know how my mother would feel. I know what her next step would be. And so for that, I apologize to his mother and his father and, his family, his friends that care for him. Because that is a sense of, or a level of embarrassment that they have to deal with too. I apologize to this organization. We just won a championship. In 9 days, 10 days, there will be a ring ceremony. My family will be here. His family will be here. I'm sure they'll be here. And quite frankly, that's an elephant in the room. That's something that, it's weird, and on a night where it should be celebration and love, and it still will be. But there is like this dark cloud in the room, and I caused that, so I apologize to his family and just what they've had to deal with over the course of the last 24 to 48 hours. And I will do what I have to do to make that right. To my family, the things that they've had to deal with. I know, my wife is, she's getting comments like he'll beat you at home and stuff like that, as if, that's the case. And so I apologize to my family as well for what they had to go through. And then most importantly, my brothers on this team who I've apologized to already. But for me, that is the task at hand, to rebuild trust in our locker room, to pull everything back together as it needs to be pulled together in order to compete and defend a championship. And although that is the least of my worries right now, it has to stay at the forefront, because most importantly, is everybody put the work in order to compete for a common goal. And I can't allow myself to be the reason that doesn't happen. So for me, it is very important that, I start the process of rebuilding trust, rebuilding, I don't necessarily think brotherhood is gone, but, in a brotherhood, sometimes that's splintered. And when that's splintered, you have to pull that back together. And that is splintered right now. And it's important that I do the work to pull that back together. Now, we're all here to do a job. We're all here to play basketball. And that's always going to be and will be the main thing. I think, for myself and Jordan moving forward, that is a different story. That's when you start speaking of personal relationships. And quite frankly, we've had a very good personal relationship. He's a guy who I've tried to take under my wing since he got here, a guy who I've advocated for, and a guy who I have encouraged to have a voice and like keep your voice and like be true to you and stay true to you. And so that is on me to do the work to rebuild, but on his time, if he ever wants to do that. I think that is a personal choice for Jordan, and I have to accept whatever comes with that. As far as, I've heard reports that, it's over a contract or him getting an extension or me getting an extension. I can assure you I don't count other people's pockets, number one. And so that's not something I would ever start doing. And the way I was raised, that is simply hating on another man's situation. And that's something that you just don't do, And so the one thing that I can assure you is that had absolutely nothing to do with anything. I think for myself, I am a very flawed human being. And I think I personally know those flaws better than anyone. And the work that I've done to correct those is tremendous, and yet there's still a very long way to go. I think that's a constant work in process. I am a constant work in process, and I'll continue to do that work. I think the day that took place, I was in a very, very, very bad space mentally, dealing with some things in my personal life that I, quite frankly, not certain that, I can't sit here and say like, oh, you're dealing with some things in your personal life that didn't shorten your temper, that didn't, that didn't change your reaction in moments. Like, all those things are tied together, and I think that's where you get to see the human being side of us, where if you are dealing with something, when you step on the court, it just doesn't go away. That's the same brain, that's the same body that is dealing with something that's now stepping onto that court. And as a leader of this team, I needed to have a better feel for myself and just know and understand like where my wicks end was, and what could possibly push me the wrong way. And quite frankly, I didn't handle that well, and I failed as a leader. And in turn, I failed as a man, I failed as a leader. And in turn, it's led to this. And so for me personally, I have to take what comes with that. I have to deal with that and continue to better myself as I will. Like I said before, rebuild the trust and relationships in this locker room, because ultimately that is what is most important to me. And making sure that this team can come together and compete at the absolute highest level that we know we need to compete at to do what we're setting out to do. And that goal doesn't change, not for me, not for anyone. That goal will remain the same. That's been the goal around here for the last 7 or 8 years, and that doesn't change now, And so I look forward to doing the work. If I'm being 100% honest, I thought it was bullshit. No other video leaks from practice. When we're working on our sets, they don't leak. When we're when I'm coaching everyone up, that doesn't leak. So I thought it was bullshit that the video leaked. And saying that, what did I think of myself in the moment? I watched the video 15 times, maybe more. Because when I watch the video, I'm looking at the video and I'm like, yo, this looks awful. Like, this looks even worse than I thought it was. It's pathetic. And then I had to take a step back too and realize that this video was actually released this way to look that way, you know. For whoever released the video, I don't know who released the video. I am very thankful to the Warriors organization for taking it as serious as they have and launching the investigation that they have, because quite frankly, they don't have to. You know, they're not obligated to launch an investigation for something that I did wrong. You know, they're not obligated to do that. So I appreciate them taking that as serious as they have and are doing. But for whoever leaked the video, it did the same thing to me that it's intended to do to the world. You know, it's an audio-less video. It's a video that cuts to me walking right to him. You know, and so the video serves the purpose that it was supposed to serve. And it had me in the same mind state of like, wow, this is terrible, this is awful. And by the way, it is terrible and it is awful. Like, just because of the way the video is cut up and it's not released with audio and all those things, what I did was wrong. You know, so regardless of the video leaking or not, regardless of how the video was leaked, with audio or without audio, I was wrong. And so I accept that, and I will move forward with that. But in saying that, you asked my thoughts of what.
Hey, what's up, guys? Jag from Jaggy Sports. October the 8th, 2022. And you guys saw it. Draymond Green apologized for his actions. And if you're asking me what my thoughts are, I actually believe the guy because he's a pretty honest guy. Sounded really remorseful, especially when he said, "Oh, I apologize to Jordan Poole's mother and father." That really set the tone for me, because he not only included Jordan Poole, but he also included the organization that he apologized to, and Jordan Poole's parents and his family, right? Like, at the end of the day, Jordan Poole's obviously in a tough spot right now because, you know, half the world's feeling sorry for him. Half the world is, you know, saying he got punked. But at the end of the day, you guys saw it. I believe Draymond Green. I believe that he's remorseful. You know, he failed as a leader. He failed as a man. And, sorry. Bottom line is that if he apologizes, then, you know, he's remorseful. And when a person apologizes, they either mean it or they don't, and they just saying it for the sake of apologizing. But when you apologize to someone, you want to be given a second chance, because you are becoming humble and you are apologizing and you are remorseful, right? Like, so at the end of the day, I believe the guy. Draymond Green apologized. I don't know what they're going to do about this investigation on who leaked it. I don't think it's a big deal, but like, when you got a mole in your organization, I get it, right? You want to find out who that mole is. And, you know, now I guess the healing for the Golden State Warriors begins, because now you have to get better as an organization moving forward as the defending champions. So you guys have it. You guys saw it. Tell me what you guys' thoughts are. Do you think that Draymond Green is remorseful, or do you think it's full of BS? I think it's remorseful. I think he truly means it, but I want to hear from you guys. Jag from Jaggy Sports.